A meeting can be great use of your time, but you can also squander it if you don't prepare properly. So in this video, I want to give you some ideas about what you need to do to prepare well for your next meeting. The key to good preparation in anything is to know what you want, to think about the outcome. If you're going to a meeting, for example, ask yourself, what do you want to be different as a result of your attendance at that meeting? And that might be, what do you want to be different for you, particularly if you go to a big meeting like a conference or you attend a briefing. Or it could be, what do you want to be different for your organisation or for the other people who attend the meeting? What change do you want to catalyse? Knowing your outcome will guide you in preparing effectively. But it's also the first step in your preparation, because thinking about what your outcome is will help you to understand how to make best use of your meeting. The other things that really matter in your preparation are, firstly, that you are completely familiar with the issues that are going to be discussed in the meeting. You've read all the briefing papers, you know something about the personalities of the people who are going to be there. That way, you're equipped with the knowledge and the understanding to contribute effectively. And the second thing is accessing good data, good evidence, seeking out your own independent sources of evidence if it's appropriate. So I'm going to suggest, just because I like checklists, because it stops us making silly mistakes and missing things out, that there are 6 components to your preparation. And if you can do these 6 things, and the sequence I give you is as sensible a sequence as any, if you can do these 6 things, then you will be well prepared for your next meeting. And step 1 is therefore to think about your outcome. Decide what you want. And the 2 questions to help you think about that is, what's in it for me? And what's in it for the meeting, the other people or the organisation that is effectively paying for the time of the people who are attending. So ask, what do I want? And what do or should they want? Once you've thought about the outcome, I suggest step 2 is to find out about the people who will be attending. If you haven't been sent with the agenda a list of the people who are due to attend, then do request that. Typically, you will know something about the people who are attending. Some of them you may know very well. But what if there are people who you don't know? Well, I would suggest you do a little bit of simple research. As a minimum, kind of Google them. Look them up on LinkedIn in particular. Find out what you can about them. Perhaps speak to some colleagues. Do you know Joe? Joe's attending a meeting that I'm going to. What can you tell me about Joe? That way, you go into the meeting with some indication of what are likely to be their interests. But please don't let this prejudice your approach to those people. Go in with an open mind and a little drawer full of background information. Next, step 3, gather the information you need to make sure you are fully prepared to contribute to the discussion and also to interpret and assess the comments that are made by other people. Sometimes this will mean a fair amount of information. If you're one of those people who has a good head for retaining facts and knowledge, then that's great. If you're not, then summarise what you learn, the key points, and make sure you've either got that in your notebook that you're taking to the meeting or perhaps in a folder. Organise the knowledge you've got so that it's ready at hand. And if there are key facts or key pieces of data that you might need to refer to in making the points or checking what other people say, then make sure that's well organised and you can access that information quickly and quietly in the meeting without being disruptive. Next, knowing your outcome and knowing what the background facts are, accepting that you will probably learn some new stuff during the meeting, otherwise there won't be much point in attending, Start to think about the contributions you want to make. What are the important contributions that you want to put forward? Do you want to give information or a perspective on something? Do you want to suggest a resolution to a problem or propose a particular decision? Think about the contribution you want to make, and then think about how you're going to make it. What's the most effective way to get across your points? We know, and I'll talk about this in other videos, that if you structure what you're saying very clearly and you make a small number of points, you will maximize the impact. If, on the other hand, you try to give 20 good reasons, there won't be 20 good reasons. But if you want to give 20 reasons why something is the right choice, and you just use some sort of random kind of stream of consciousness way of explaining it, then it'll have no impact. If, on the other hand, you pick the 2 or 3 key points that you need to make, the essential reasons why this is the right decision, or the essential steps of the resolution to the problem, and you articulate them in a structured way that you've thought about, then you will have maximum impact in your contribution. Fifth, with all of this, get your notes in good order and think about the materials you're going to take into the meeting. Print out your agenda, unless you're working from an electronic device, of course, and have your notes ready. Make sure that you've got the materials you need, like business cards, like pens, or your laptop or your electronic device. And also think a little bit about the best way to dress and present yourself physically in the meeting. And finally, unless you are very well practiced in meetings, give some time over to visualizing the meeting going well. Picture yourself attending the meeting, greeting people in an energetic, enthusiastic manner. Picture yourself making your contribution and having people around the table watching you, listening to what you're saying, nodding at the key points. That way, when you go into the meeting situation, your brain and your physiology are expecting success. They're primed for that because they've kind of experienced it in your imagination. That will lend you confidence, and that will leak out in your body language. If, on the other hand, you haven't prepared well, then you won't be confident, and that will leak out in your body language. And of course, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that I'm not confident, so people don't have confidence in me, and therefore I'm not successful. Visualizing success, seeing it, will lend you the confidence. Your body language will change. People will respond to you according to your body language, and you'll have the success you need. So there we have it. 6 simple steps to take to prepare effectively for your next meeting. If you do that, you can make your next meeting enormously worthwhile. If you don't, it could be a waste of your time. Please give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. There's loads more great management courses content to come. So please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to make sure you don't miss anything. I'll see you in the next one, and in the meantime, keep learning.